Okay guys, welcome back. Sorry for the brief interruption. We are now going to look at an example that's a little bit more complicated because it's not going to give us a special right triangle. Instead, it's going to give us some pretty crazy looking angles. So here, I have a 7-sided figure, a heptagon. So the first thing I need to know is what each measurement of each angle is, because I don't have the apothem that I need in order to find the area of this. So I am going to do 7 minus 2 times 180 divided by 7, and that gets me 128.571 degrees. So that means that each angle here is 128 degrees, well, 129 degrees roughly. Okay. Half of each angle then, so half, which is what I'd have here, is going to be about 64.3 degrees, roughly. Again, roughly. So I'm going to redraw that triangle so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, where this is my apothem, which I don't have. This is my radius, which I don't need. This is my 64.3 degree angle. And the side length here is half of a side length of my heptagon. So it is 4 because my whole side length is 8. So if I want to find A, I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA. So we know that this is my marked angle. A is my opposite side. 4 is my adjacent side. Thinking about SOHCAHTOA, I'm going to use tangent of theta equals O over A. So tangent of just about 64.3 equals, I don't know O, that's my apothem. I know that my adjacent side is 4, so my apothem must equal 4 times the tangent of 64.3. And this is when we get to jump into the calculator. So here's my calculator history. You can see that up on that first line, I calculated what my individual angle would be, and I kept dragging the number over. So I got the decimal format, then I pulled that and divided it by 2 to get the half measure angle that I need. Then I plugged that into 4 times the tangent of about 64.3 degrees. And that got me that my apothem is 8.30609. So now I'm going to come back to my work here. Okay, and guys, I'm going to come down here now. I need to find the area of my regular polygon. Remember, area equals 1/2 perimeter times apothem. I could have gotten that from my formula chart, where perimeter is the number of sides times the side length. So now I can just plug in. 1/2, number of sides is 7 times a side length of 8. My apothem was 8.3, right? Let me make sure. Yep, 8.3. So, okay. I would plug this into my calculator again. When we plug in that number, we get 232.57 as our answer. So if I come back here, that means my area is about 252.3 units squared. All right, copy this down. I'm going to erase this piece down here so that I have room to write for the next bit. Okay. All right, next problem we have, there was a mistake in the way your notes were printed. The 8 that was along the height here, I had to move to here, otherwise the problem wouldn't work. So, know that. I want to find the surface area of the isosceles trapezoidal prism, okay? So, things I know about the surface area my surface area formula, which again I could get off of my formula sheet, is equal to 2b plus perimeter times h, where my base is a trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height of the trapezoid. Notice that's different than the height of the main object. And the perimeter of my base is going to be all the sides added together. Now we have a couple of problems right now because I'm missing some things. One, I don't have the height of the trapezoid. Okay, I don't know what this is. I'm going to have to solve for it with trig, knowing that this is 25 degrees. And I don't have all of the sides of my base, so I don't have those two sides to be able to get the perimeter I need. So I've got a bit of trig in my future, but let's start by trying to solve for the trapezoid. Real quick, if this is 10 and this is 12 down here, then each piece here and here must be 1. So I now have a triangle here where I've got a side length of 1 and an angle of 25 degrees. I'm going to have to use trigonometry to figure out what everything else is going to measure. So this is my O, my H, and my A. I'm going to start by solving for that height, right? I'm going to put an H here. So O and A are the two sides that I'm going to use first. That's tangent. So I would get that tangent of 25 equals O over A, H over 1. So the height of that trapezoid just has to be the same as tangent of 25. Okay? Plug it into your calculator, get the decimal. Then I need to find the hypotenuse. To get the hypotenuse, I've got an A and an H, so that's going to be cosine. Cosine of 25 has to equal 1 over the hypotenuse. Cross multiply, we get H times cosine of 25 equals 1. Divide, I get H equals 1 over cosine of 25. Again, we're now going to plug these into our calculator. When I plug in my numbers into my calculator, I get that the tangent of 25 is 0.466308, and the cosine is 1.10338. So let's go back to our work here. I'm not going to plug them in right now because I'm just going to use the values in the calculator when I work out my answer later. Or no, I changed my mind. 0.466. And my cosine is 1.103. Okay. So, coming back up here to my equations, I need to find the base. Well, that's 1/2. Base 1 plus base 2 is 10 plus 12 times the height we got as 0.466. So I'm going to plug that in my calculator now. And I get 5.12938. So my base ends up being 5.129, just about. And I need to find my perimeter. Well, perimeter is going to be 10 plus 12 plus 2 of those hypotenusi that I found, right? So 2 times 1.103. We're going to plug it into the calculator as well. And we get 24.2068. So back in the document here, 24.2068. Okay. Now, final step, we get to plug everything back into my surface area formula. Yay! Extend the page. So, if my surface area equals 2 times the base, which we got as 5.129, plus perimeter, 24.2068, times the height, which is 8, Plug it into the calculator, and we get 203.913. So, yay, final answer. 203.913 units squared. Woo! All right. Next, we're going to look at pentagonal pyramids and finding the volume. Real quick, pentagonal pyramid, we have apothem, radius. Over here, this is an apothem, height, slant height. And then this is the less useful drawing. This is a radius, a height, and this is the lateral edge, which we hardly ever use. But, just a quick refresher. So, if I want to find the volume of a regular pentagonal pyramid, okay, again, you've got the wrong word in your notes, I'm correcting you now, who has a radius of 4, okay, and whose slant height is 10, so my slant height here is 10. So we're missing a lot of things. My formula for volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height, not the slant height. And my formula for that base, it's a regular polygon, it has to be 1/2 perimeter times apothem. So we don't have a side length because, again, to get perimeter, we need number of sides times the side length times the apothem. We're missing a whole lot of stuff in this problem. I need to figure out the angles in my pentagonal pyramid. I use my n minus 2 times 180 divided by n to get that each angle is 108, which means when I draw that in right there, I get that that's 54 degrees, which that's a side length of 4 because that's a radius. I need to find the apothem and I need to find my side length. So this is A, and I'm going to call this X, where my side length S is going to end up being 2 times X to get the whole length of the side. So I'm going to use trig and my trig ratios to get that if this is my angle, we have O, A, and H. If I want to get the apothem, I have OH, so I'm going to use the sine of 54 equals O over H, A over 4, apothem over 4. So my apothem is 4 times the sine of 54. Okay. My half of my side length, I'm going to have to use cosine because I have an A and an H. So we're going to do the cosine of 54 equals X over 4. So my half my side length, X, equals 4 times cosine of 54. Okay. Which means that my side length for the whole side is 2 times 4 times the cosine of 54. Okay. So I've now found S. I found A. I don't have the H. I'm missing that right now. Okay. So, slant height is 10. Okay. I know here that what this apothem is. It is 4 times cosine of 54. So I can find the height by using Pythagorean theorem. I can say that h squared plus 4 times, no, it's not cosine, the apothem was sine, sorry. 4 times the sine of 54 squared is equal to 10 squared. This seems like a great moment to jump into my calculator. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to finish off the problem and then show you the answer. All right, real quick, this is inside the calculator. We can see that the apothem would have to be 3.23. My side length is 4.7. My height has to be 9.4. The base area is 38, which means